Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Magic Bumba and I'm a tarot and oracle reader, and this is part 2 of a video that I hope that this intro is actually required. So part 1 of this video was with my tarot cards. I was not really ranking them, but I was just kind of showing them the top, technically 5 or 6 I guess you should say, because I had an honorable mention in there. The top ones that I use more frequently, which cards I really have grown sentimental with, that like I have never stopped using for as many years as I've had them. And this is kind of the same thing. And this has a little bit of a different, I think when it comes to oracle cards, and sorry for my chair making all this noise. When it comes to oracle cards, I'm not ranking this, just like I said in the first part of this video, or in the tarot part. Like I said, depending how long this is, this could be attached to the other half of the tarot video, because that was about 30 minutes. I don't think this is going to be like 10 minutes long, but if it is, I'm just going to attach it to that one. This is why you're seeing this. And if it's not, this is a separate video, and I will make sure to link the first one in the description box. I don't know how to make it pop up on my screen just yet. I've never had to do that before. So otherwise, it will be linked in the description box below. So if you want to watch the tarot part, that will be in a separate one, or you just watch the beginning of this video. I don't know. It's just, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't do these type of videos very often. I'm not very experienced with this, but I have a feeling this video, even with this rambling right now, this is probably a separate video than that. So more than likely, you're going to find the description, in the description box, a link to the tarot portion. I probably separated them. And I probably should have thought of that beforehand, but we're doing things casual here. We're keeping it very, chill and laid back. So grab some water, some tea. My coffee machine just got delivered in between the two postings, so it's actually perfect timing that I ended when I did the first video. So I take that as a sign that this is what we're supposed to do in the first place. Okay, I'm just going to roll with it. So as I said before, unless you didn't see that video, because maybe you're more interested in oracle than you are tarot, fair, very fair. Some people like only working with oracle, and some people like, I have enough tarot, I only want to watch oracle. Valid. When it comes to oracle, it's just more about how frequently I use these. Some of them I use consistently. I like using them in all my pickup piles, or live on Twitch, or in my Instagram stories. They fit perfectly with certain themes. For particular questions, I might be like, I need this oracle deck. That's why they're on this list. Some oracle decks I can pull it into here, I can switch around. I don't need them for certain things. These ones that have made the list is because I love using them for particular items, and I use them very frequently. That's kind of the mindset here. Not that one is better than another. It's in a list just for fun. It's not actually how I view, like, I don't view one to be better. There's one that I'm going to show you that I absolutely love, that I would say, yeah, it's number 1, and it's like, but it's technically number 6 on the list, my honorable mentions. There was a tie for that too. I could not cap it at just 5 oracle decks with the amount of oracles that I own. I was like, I can't. This is what you're going to get, okay? So let's start with technically number 7 as an honorable mention. Again, it's because it has a very particular use for this one. And this is the Crystal Ball Pocket Oracle. Very sweet, very small. You don't use these with reversals at all. And as you can see, they're very good for yes or no questions without an explanation. Very easy to shuffle. The cardstock is really nice. It's very smooth, very easy to shuffle, very small. So good if you have small hands, perfect. Here the card themselves are very stiff. And they will have cards that say like, this is the sign, not the right time. There's no guidebook with these. It's just, they're self-explanatory. You're going in the right direction, or choose a new direction. They have yes, they have no. They have got straight up, they have no. So that's really good. Here's yes. So I like that, especially when I do readings on Twitch, and occasionally I will, I may not have a schedule posted right now while I'm recording this video, but the plan is to come back with a certain, a plan in order for that one. But I digress that. We go have a listen to your intuition. And this is really great for people who like it's just for fun when you're like Instagram stories, like say yes or no question, like what is your question, and we'll just pull, kind of similar to like pendulum readings, if I would say that. I see a lot of people who do pendulum. This is kind of similar in the sense of like, you're just doing yes or no, because pendulum will have like yes, no, maybe, or reconsider and stuff. This is kind of like that, but in card form. So that's what I say, like this is very good for a particular question, or when someone's very adamant they want a yes or no, and you can use tarot for that, but sometimes it's hard to remember what cards are yes or no, or maybe you have to go off your intuition if this is yes or no or maybe, but this is like direct answers. And what I like to use this for too, when I do use them for a tarot reading, because I have used them for private client readings, I will start off the reading like, let's find out that answer. You want to know it so badly because you need a yes or no. We'll start with this and we'll use the tarot to explain the answer, the workings behind that answer. Is that an answer influenced by, you know, certain energies around or patterns and that we can find? Like, you know, it's not the end all be all, like this is it. It's what it currently is. It's kind of like how I view it and why I use it. So really good. Okay, and then this is number 6. This is the Embroidered Graveyard. Oh my gosh, I remember showing this live on Twitch because I got this as a Kickstarter, and just wonderful. Like, here is the box, gorgeous. The skulls, and I'm a skull fanatic. I don't know if you can tell, I do like skulls, you know. Orange, like this is definitely, oh, I can't wait till like fall and Halloween. Like this is gonna be perfect, absolutely perfect. As you can tell by the Embroidered Graveyard remark, it's because all the artwork on here is from actual embroidery. The artist is incredible. I think if you were part of the Kickstarter, I think it was for the Kickstarter only, I'm not sure, or maybe it wasn't Kickstarter, it was just like sold on Instagram. You could buy like the actual embroidered versions of this deck. You could have bought them. And it's just, the only thing about this is that it's a little hard. Like if you don't use it frequently, you constantly have to use the guidebook then. You can try to use intuition, of course, but some of them are very like, there's goddesses that are in here. So it's like you need to know what goddess is what, because it doesn't give you the name of the goddess in the card. Trying to see if I can find one. Oh, but they've got like cards like this. Isn't that so cool? But the book itself is totally worth it. Like this is the book. This is the guidebook. Like, wow. Really, really nice. A lot of huge text. It kind of goes through like the overall meaning of like what they meant, and then a spirit meaning and an introspective. So what this deck is really, really good for is if you wanted to communicate with spirits or like your divine spiritual team, your higher self, and just any form of spiritual, in a spiritual way, you can do that as if like you're talking to another, like if that's your intent, you're talking to another person. You can attune this deck with a certain deity in mind, which this is a death goddess. I'm not sure. Oh, look at this is Lilith. I know this one is Lilith. This is Rebel. That's Lilith. And like for example, like just for example, if you wanted to attune this, I know Persephone's in here. So let's say you want to attune this. So whenever you use this is you communicating with Persephone. This is her suggestions and stuff. You can do that. Or if you're like, I'm not really into spiritual stuff, that's not how I use Oracle or use Tarot, that's not how I do that, then you would use the introspection. They're there to kind of instigate thought and journal prompts and like your shadow side. That's what it's there for. So that's why I think it's really, really cool that it has those two ways of reading, if that's, you know, what you're interested in. Some people like me, I kind of like to read a little bit of all of it. So, and there's really good spreads in this. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of spreads you can learn from here. There's a little bit of spell work, I think, in the back, or rituals, you should say. I should say rituals, but oh my gosh, like it's that beautiful matte. Love it. Just gorgeous, gorgeous one. Aesthetic alone, this deck is incredible. Okay, so that is why it's spot number 6, because it does take time to use, so it's something that I'd have to use way more frequently. just to memorize more of it. But there's nothing wrong with using a guidebook either. It's just depending on the situation. If you're like, okay, hold on, let me grab the guidebook and read from this. Like for pick a piles, that may or may not be work, that may or may not work. It may be like, hey, I'm trying to learn this. I'm going to put this on the side. And then maybe for a client reading though, if it's in person, sometimes it's just like, it doesn't always have to, depending like how you do reading, you do you. That's totally cool. You can be like, hold on, wait, I need to go and read this before you can interpret the rest of the cards. It may like throw you off balance. So that's why it's technically not in the top 5, but it's still, oh my gosh, it definitely deserves a spot on this list. So, all right. Okay, so on to technically number 5, which I technically don't have 5 as a spot. It's just a general category, which is affirmation decks. I have 2 here. One is not better than the other. If you've seen any of my videos, you probably have seen them at some point. We have this one, Be You, Do You, For You. You've seen these before. They're affirmations, and yeah, it's simple artwork. You know, the only complaint is that the corners are really sharp. So while I'm shuffling at some points, I've had to learn to shuffle these very differently, very, very, very differently, very loosely as well, because at one point the corners were like digging into my hand. So, but you've seen these before. I've done these a lot for Instagram stories. So there we go. You know, but gorgeous, very simplistic. There are some foiled cards in here, so sometimes those are kind of hard to show on camera. But, you know, affirmations I use so much, just because, like, it's kind of nice to get that point across, to end an affirmation. Something that whoever's watching this video, or if it's a private client, it's kind of like a piece of them that they can take home with them in a way. Like, that's their affirmation, and you can use it when you feel empowered to do so. So that's why I use affirmations a lot. That's something that like is words that solely are for you to hear. And so then we have this one. This is Sweet Ass Affirmations, Motivation for Your Creative Manic Mind. Now this one's really cool because you see this gremlin, and I explain this every time I post the card, is that when you see this gremlin right here, there are gremlins that are hidden within these in these cards. Like there's a little gremlin that will be in the front or in the back. Now they're typically shaded out and they can be like covered somewhat, but it's a nice little game. And sometimes I'll post these pictures in the Discord and people will be like, okay, can you find the gremlin in this card? Excuse me. So yeah, so I don't know if we can even see the gremlin here. I could be covering it for all I know. And they're really great. The cardstock is phenomenal. I actually got the second one as well. But yeah, like again, the affirmations are really good. The artwork is really beautiful in this one too. Like I love the colors. I love the little added bonus of the game in there. And just affirmations are really great to use. I try to end some of my readings with an affirmation or another deck that kind of has affirmations or close to affirmations. I have a few more like that. That's why I couldn't really pick one, because I try to keep that very equal. But just generally affirmations, which you may or may qualify as not an oracle deck. They're affirmation decks. That, you know, you may not even qualify that. If that's the case, that's okay. Knock it out. We'll have the embroidered graveyard take that spot as number 5. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, number 4. Here is the box. We have the You Are Here Oracle deck. This is how it opens. Where are we going? This is a little guidebook that comes with it. The cards are over there. If you're like, wait, there's no cards in there. Well, here's the little guidebook. And the artwork, phenomenal. Here's the back of the cards. And it's this beautiful collage. And normally I'm not a huge collage fan, but you can see from my aesthetic alone, me and this deck get along really well, because actually I think this particular background you'll see, this is in one of the cards. And I noticed that, and it's like, I think it's like a card about home. And I was like, oh my gosh, this deck was made for me. Like, I mean, I know it wasn't, but like, Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. And it tells you, like, it has beautiful amount of knowledge down here. I love when decks do this. I love, especially oracle decks, it can be so hard to learn. You don't want to grab the guidebook every time. If the imagery is kind of spacious or it's out there and you're just like, I'm not quite sure what this is trying to portray, and you're not comfortable yet with just trusting your intuition on the imagery alone, I like that it kind of it tells you all this stuff. It gives you those key words in there. And if you want a deeper explanation, you would go to the guidebook. Like space, the rainbows. Oh, you know, here we go. Dream Meadow, Visionaries, Imagination, and Escapism. There it is. There it is right there. Oh, I love it. I was like, beautiful. Also, you know, doesn't hurt that it's the shades of, you know, purple that you can see from my aesthetic alone. How much I do love that pink and purple combo. So some of the cards are not all pink and purple. They're like, you know, they'll put pops of orange and stuff in there. But if you're interested in this type of artwork, I think, like, if you like this artwork right now, like, if you like it, you would love this deck. Really great for tarot, adding to tarot readings as well. Kind of like inner knowings, knowledge, like wisdom, intuition that you want to know. It kind of brings that. It draws it out there. Also, holographic. So most of this is just because the deck is so pretty. Like it fits my aesthetic beautifully, and I enjoy using it. I enjoy the information from it. Very straightforward as well. Like glass box, all eyes on you. And I like how you can go a little bit deeper with the guidebook. It has journal prompts or FAQs or tips about your visit. Kind of like, these are places you would go. Like, you would picture yourself, you can meditate on that too, you being in this space that's being shown. So I think that's really cool. Okay. Next up, now this one is a super popular one. I always get compliments on this oracle deck a lot. This is the Cosmic Guidance Oracle deck. It is beautiful. And I'm kind of a little shocked at myself that I got this one because I'm not a huge fan of silver. I'm more gold, but gold, or, you know, if I go silver, it's something that's more holographic and rainbowish. But this one is purple and silver, and it works beautifully. This is the guidebook. Even the guidebook has that shine on it. It has journal prompts. It has exercises, meaning, meditation, more keywords, quotes. There is so much in this guidebook that really help you to go in a little bit deeper. But again, what's really great is that it has the keyword there and then gives you a little bit more keywords underneath it. I truly do appreciate decks that do that. This one, you wouldn't read in reversals. I mean, you can do what you want. I don't think you have to with this one. The back is gorgeous. Here we actually have heart, emotions, and intuition. So trusting. So definitely, if you're looking for like an oracle deck, this one is on the pricier side of it, I will say. I think also because I'm in the United States and I think this is from Australia, so even like the shipping, like international shipping, can be crazy expensive. But for me, the deck was worth it. We've got nature. Like, look how gorgeous that is. Like, you can see like the little details like in the water there. Try to get the lighting. There you go. You can see like the little details. Has the silver in there. Trust. I'm trying to show that, but again, you can see that color. You can kind of see the color here. You can see why I was really drawn to this oracle deck. This is really great for setting the mood. I like to use this as well if I'm welcoming in a new client, especially like in person, and you don't have time to like mentally or spiritually prepare for that energy. If it's like a real quick reading or like an unexpected reading, I should say, this is really great to ask the card, like ask the oracle, like, what is the theme of this reading, or what is the energy of the person that you're doing the reading, like where is their mindset, what is their intuition, their subconscious thought behind everything, you know, like especially when a lot of people come up and they're just like, yeah, I don't have a question, just a general reading. Just give me a general reading. And you're like, because sometimes that can be very intimidating, especially if you're new. And I could say right now, you're interested about manifestation. Just because of this deck, this card came out, you're interested in manifestation. So let's talk about what it is that you desire, because what you desire is on the way. So instead of, letting it just be general and see what the tarot falls out, you can start with this one instead and be like, we're going to talk about your manifestations, what it is you desire to manifest into the world. That's the direction we're going in. And then you take control of the reading that way. So that's why I really like this one. It's really great for that one, and that's why I like to start sometimes pick-up piles with this as well, or show the pick-up pile. So maybe if you're more visual, you're like, you know what, I don't know what to pick, or I don't know what this, like, if it's like a general pick-up pile style reading I'm posting, it's like, go by this, like what lesson it is that you need to learn right now. Even like right now, just it's so inspirational in that way. So again, I will have the list for all the cards that I'm showing here today. They should be in the description box. And as always, if you want a full list of all my Oracle decks, I try to keep it updated as much as possible, but it is listed in my Discord for Tarot and Oracle. All right, what are we already on number 2? I feel like this is going a little bit more quicker, but it is a long video, so, thankfully I did split the videos up. Okay, so here we have, this one should be of no shock. If you follow me on Instagram, you've watched my Instagram stories, that means you've got an opportunity for me to pick a card just for you using this one when I do the little drop emoji stuff. There's the box. This is the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. I feel like there's a theme. I like a lot of purple, apparently. Okay, I don't, you know what? Whatever. I like what I like. Here are the cards themselves. You don't necessarily even need the guidebook. I did edge this one in a pink color. I felt like it matched nicely enough to this one. This color was too light and was not really showing, so I had to go a shade darker so you could actually see the color pink. But I think it complements it. It looks a little bit darker on camera than it does in real life, though. It's a little bit lighter. You don't really need the guidebook. Let me show the guidebook, though. Here's the guidebook. Has a mantra and a journal prompt. Again, this is if you want to take a deeper dive. Maybe you don't really understand the meaning of some of the cards in here. It'll kind of give you ideas and prompts for that one. But yeah, this is exactly what you think it is. This is about self-care. Could arguably be more, like, should have been named self-love, but there are some self-care in here. And I have the difference between self-care and self-love. Self-love to me is when you indulge in something. It's taking a nap, it's showing yourself that love and nurturing energy, it's eating a really good meal and having like a slice of chocolate cake or a cupcake or a nice sweet treat, an extra coffee, or you know what, you're gonna go to Starbucks and you're gonna get yourself a good coffee or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever it is, you're gonna get yourself a sweet treat, you're going to go get a manicure, a pedicure, you're gonna buy some makeup, or you're gonna buy yourself a new outfit, you're gonna get your hair done. Like, that's self-love, which is absolutely everyone is required to do that, try to find time to do so in such a busy world that we live in. And self-care is doing the things that you don't want to do. Going to the doctors, doing the dentist appointment, paying bills, getting your bills in order. And like, there's abundance planning in here. There's like you can say like connect with earth. That's more self-love. Like going and spending that time meditating could be considered self-love. But reading, this could be more educational. Like if you're behind in your studies, you need some self-care action. You need to read. You need to read up. You need to get ahead of the game in that, some of those situations. There's spiritual self-care and self-love. Clear your energy field. Writing a gratitude list. Maybe you need to take time to do that. Create art. If you're an artist, this may not be easy. It's easier said than done. Maybe you've been trying to create art and you've had a creative block, and this is telling you, well, you know what, you can't procrastinate anymore, you just got to try. Like, that's where it would be different if you're an artist. Let's see, I'm trying to think. There is one, I probably don't see it in here just yet. There's journaling. There's a burning bowl ritual. Flow like water. And like massage. And massage, like get yourself a good massage, or just even massage your own body. Take time with your body. Listen to your body. Like when you're tired and you need to take a nap, take that nap, and you'll be better for it. And not self-doubting those things. That's why I'm saying, like, this is a great, there's abundance planning in here. That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's more like self-care, like abundance planning. Like, what do you do? How do you save your money? bringing that to the forefront. There's a doctor card in here, or it's like a health checkup. Some people might be avoiding that, and it's like spirits here telling you, you have to take care of these things. This is a form of self-care. You've got to do the things that you don't want to do. It's not always like bubble baths and chocolate cake. But yeah, really, really love this deck. I love to finish readings with this deck in particular, especially if it's been, I don't know why I put the cards back in here. I use it so often. I never really put this deck away. Unless I'm cleaning everything, then I'll put it away for safety. But I like to end readings with this, kind of like with affirmations. I usually pair this with an affirmation, and I want to expand a lot more of my self-care decks. I do have another one, but it's a little bit more wordy. It's a step-by-step guidance. It will tell you, like, take deep breaths, and I will put a step-by-step guidance and telling people how do you take a deep breath. So which I think that I like that a lot. But this is definitely more a popular one that a lot more people request, because it's nice after, especially if it's a harsh reading, you know, and it's not like you should never feel helpless after reading, nothing like that, but it could be bringing things to truth, like maybe things you didn't want to hear, and you need that moment to yourself. You need to like collect your thoughts, your mind. You're like, what can I just do to take care of myself before I deal with that? This is what this deck is for. That's why I really love it. And this next one, which is technically the last one, this is number 1. This should not be a surprise to anyone. Unless you're completely new here, then yes, it can be a surprise. But I know that this is one of the most popular Oracle decks. It is one of my most requested ones to use in a lot of my videos, and I thoroughly enjoy using it. I think it doesn't have every perfect card in there. It doesn't. I have to sometimes really explain these cards because I think they're for the moment. They're not for, like, I'll explain in a second when I tell you. But if you haven't already guessed it, this is the Power of Surrender cards, okay? This is the box. I don't even know. Does it have a guidebook? It kind of, not really. The cards are self-explanatory. You don't even need the guide or the little piece of guide. I wouldn't even qualify that. That's why I did the quotation. It's not really a guide. But here we have, this is the back. Really pretty. I enjoy, like, sunset, sunrise, however which way you want to look at it. And it will say, like, surrender to miracles. And it gives a good description underneath the card. I love that. It's not too long. So, like, if you're doing a lot of readings and you're reading the bottom of it, it's not too long. It's, like, barely a paragraph. Like, barely. It's, like, 2 sentences at most at some of the cards. You'll have surrender to success. Surrender your ego. And these attach very well to the tarot cards. You find that they pair very nicely. And this card right here is like what I'm saying, like, it's not exactly perfect, depending how you want to interpret the cards yourself. Surrender your need to always be right. And it will say, like, things like, give other the gifts of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. And I always interpret this, like, especially like one of this. It's like this one on, like, surrender frustrations. Like, it's so much easier said than done, but it could be more of implying in this moment, surrender your need to be right. And, like, also, like, kind of like in this one, pick your battles. What is it that you need to be right about? And is it causing you more stress? Is this person too stubborn? Is this a person that you can keep at arm's length after this and be like, you know what? I'm done with this conversation. Is this someone, like, on Twitter that you can mute or block and just be like, you know what? You can speak to the void. I'm not going to hear it anymore. You're not going to listen to my side of things. I'm not going to partake in this. You're not going to take my energy. You're not going to take my time. That's how I portray cards that are like this. Especially that frustration card, because it's much easier said, like, just don't be frustrated. Just don't. Like, how would you feel if someone told you not to be frustrated? I've contemplated, even with some of these Oracle decks, taking cards like that out. And I'm like, you know what? It's in there. We can work around it. We can talk, because that's the true power of being a tarot and Oracle reader. For some of these cards out there, it's not like twisting of the meaning, but it's like, especially with Oracle cards that are up for interpretation, because there's no rules or regulation when it comes to Oracle cards. Same can't exactly be said for tarot, because there is a system in place depending on the tarot deck, I would say. But you can, like, interpret things as in this moment. It could be, this is what you need to do to end the frustration right now, is take a deep breath, walk away from the situation, you know, come back to it with a clear mind before you tackle the problem, because you're so frustrated, you're just going to continue to make mistakes. There you go. Like, that's something that's, like, different. It says the meaning of the card, but not implied, like, how it says on the bottom of it. But this deck is really, really great. I hope I explained that really well. If you need me to clarify, you know, to drop me a comment and ask me. But this deck is really good because a lot of times people, especially when they're using Tarot and Oracle, like a direct, like, action. What is it that I can surrender? Well, let me tell you. You can surrender defensiveness and explain why. That's why it's really easy to do these on a Twitch live. It's easy to do these cards on an Instagram live or Instagram story, because you can just like, here, what do you want to surrender? What is it that you need to surrender? And it tells you everything you need to know on the card itself. And yes, I do those occasionally. Instagram's been having an issue with me posting stories lately. Like, they just haven't been uploading, or they've been uploading in the wrong order. But normally I would go on my Instagram, so all my socials are always linked down below, and I'll be like, hey, it's Affirmation Day. Drop some emotes or tell me what you had for breakfast, and I will respond. And it's all anonymous. Like, no one knows what card is yours. You only get the notification, besides me, obviously. But, you know, you get the notification that I posted or responded to your question or your answer, whatever it is, with like a card. It'll just be a picture of the card and maybe a comment from me on there. So if you're interested in that, I would suggest following me on my different socials, okay, besides just here on YouTube. But yeah, this is spot number 1. Tell me which one was your favorite. Do you have any of these favorites? What are your favorite Oracle decks? Which I should have put this in the tarot one too. Favorite tarot decks? You can put it in this video. It doesn't matter. It's just me checking these comments. I know what you mean. I know how it goes. I have more videos kind of styled like this coming up. I hope this is a good kind of chill video we're going to start with. I'm going to do different videos on like top tarot / oracle decks that are good for beginners. Like, this would be really great for a beginner, you know, hint hint, like this would be really, really great. You know, my more recent new oracle and tarot combos, stuff like that. So if you have any other suggestions, any other videos you'd like to see, any other oracle decks you would like me to show and tell, let me know in the comments below. But thank you for joining for me today with, you know, and understanding this is a new style video I've never done before. And I keep shaking my mic. Sorry. But yeah, I think that's about it for today. I will catch you in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.